Welcome to my YouTube family revenge file. Please like, share, and subscribe.
I thought it was just another normal shopping trip with my wife. We laughed over coffee, picked up a few bags, talked about dinner. Then I walked to the parking lot to bring the car around. That was when an elderly security guard stopped me. He looked at my wife from a distance and quietly asked, "Is that your wife?" I smiled and said yes. His face turned serious. He leaned closer and whispered, "You need to see this." A few seconds later, I was staring at something that made my entire body go numb. Everything I believed about the woman I trusted was suddenly in question. Stay until the end because what happened next changed our marriage forever. Story. My name is Daniel. I have been married to my wife Emily for almost 9 years. Like every couple, we had our arguments, but I believed we had built our life on trust. We had a comfortable home, stable jobs, and dreams of starting a family. I never imagined that one ordinary Saturday afternoon would become the day I questioned everything. We decided to spend the day at the mall because Emily wanted to buy a birthday gift for her younger sister. We walked through several stores, joked about overpriced clothes, and even shared lunch at our favorite restaurant inside the shopping center. Nothing felt unusual. She laughed at my terrible jokes just like always. After finishing our shopping, Emily's phone suddenly rang. She looked at the screen and said she needed to take the call privately because it was about a surprise for her sister. I thought nothing of it. The entire drive home I kept wondering whether my marriage had been built on lies. That evening, Emily seemed unusually nervous. She kept checking her phone. Every notification made her quickly lock the screen before I could accidentally see it. For the first time in our marriage, I felt a wall growing between us. The next morning, I remembered something. The security guard had mentioned the parking cameras recorded everything. I returned to the mall alone. He said he could not give me official footage because of privacy rules, but he pointed me toward mall management if I wanted to request footage related to my own visit. While speaking with him, he quietly shared one more detail. The mysterious man had left immediately after giving Emily the envelope. He never entered the mall. That detail bothered me even more. I spent the next several days trying to understand what had happened. Emily continued acting normal. She cooked dinner. She laughed with me. She planned a weekend trip. Yet something felt different. Every smile now made me wonder whether she was hiding something. Finally, I decided to ask. Emily looked surprised when I mentioned the security guard. For a moment, her face turned pale. Then tears filled her eyes. She asked me to sit down. She disappeared into our bedroom and returned holding the same brown envelope. She placed it on the table. Inside were dozens of old photographs, letters, medical documents, and one sealed envelope with my name written on it. I looked at her in complete confusion. Emily quietly explained everything. Months earlier, she had hired a private investigator after discovering inconsistencies in my late father's records while helping organize family documents. She wanted to surprise me after confirming everything. The investigator had finally completed his work. The man in the parking lot was delivering the evidence because he happened to be nearby. Emily had stepped away to keep the surprise secret until my birthday. With shaking hands, I opened the envelope. Inside was proof that my biological grandfather had never abandoned our family. Instead, he had spent years searching for us after losing contact through legal mistakes decades earlier. He had recently passed away. Before his death, he left behind personal letters explaining everything. Emily wanted to protect the surprise until every detail was verified. I sat there unable to speak. The fear that had consumed me for days disappeared instantly. Instead, I felt overwhelming guilt for doubting the woman who had spent months trying to give me the greatest gift anyone had ever given me. The next weekend, we returned to the mall together. I found the elderly security guard. I thanked him sincerely. Without his warning, I might never have asked questions honestly. Instead, I could have let silent suspicion destroy my marriage. He smiled and simply said, "Trust grows stronger when people choose truth instead of assumptions." Those words stayed with me. That day taught me one of the greatest lessons of my life. Sometimes what looks suspicious is only a small part of a much bigger story. Real relationships survive because people communicate before they judge. Whenever I remember that shopping trip, I no longer think about fear. I think about honesty. I think about trust. And I think about the quiet security guard whose simple words reminded me that every story has two sides. Looking back, I realized the biggest danger was never the mysterious envelope or the unknown man. The real danger was allowing fear to replace communication. One honest conversation saved our marriage from unnecessary pain. If this story reminds you to trust wisely and talk openly with the people you love, then it has already made a difference. Please subscribe to the channel, Share this story with your family and friends. Leave a comment and tell us what you would have done in my place.